Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the HCAM Studios for the HCAM Sports Talk Studio Edition. Our first time in the studios. We got all the guys here. Jared's on his way. He'll be joining us later on. But right now, of course, I'm Tom Nappi, the host. We got Andy Barron. We got Steve Watson. We got Morgan Donahue. And we are ready to talk some sports on HCAM Sports Talk. Guys, we're in the studio. Pretty cool. And we got some great topics we're going to talk about. But first, we got fall high school sports coming up. Teams are pretty much practicing all around the state. The golf season officially started, I believe, today. They had their first matches. You excited for the fall sports season,
Absolutely.
Steve? And why don't we go around the table just for the people that haven't watched the show before or haven't seen our great faces before, and just talk a little bit about yourselves and what you do. Morgan, we'll start with you.
Absolutely. So Morgan Donahue, Tom, thanks for having me. And we've done a couple of these on Zoom, but my goodness, you guys are much more beautiful in person. I'm part of the Westwood community, born and raised in Westwood. I was part of Westwood sports growing up. Remember, had some great battles versus Hopkinton. Ryan Slotsky was a great running back for Hopkinton back in the day. There was also, Haas Anderson, great fullback. I mean, there's so many guys to name, the Ostranders too. But, I'm still in Westwood. I cover Westwood sports for Westwood Media Center as a volunteer play-by-play, as well as Westwood Living Sports, contributing writer there as well, and have a social media account, Westwood Calls, and absolutely delighted to be with you boys here in studio.
All right, so I'm going to just jot a note, give Morgan a raise. Steve, tell the people about yourself.
Steve Watson. I live over in Mendon, Mass. Full-time I work in the lovely world of accounting. Weekend mornings, if you're driving around, you might hear me on 101.3. And I have the great privilege of being the voice of two schools, the Nipmuc Warriors and the Milford Scarlet Hawks. This will be year number 14 already over in Milford, a long time. Yeah. And year number 5 over Nipmuc. Looking forward to the fall sports season and really the school year as a whole. It's a great time of year, and it's just so much fun.
Absolutely. Andy Barron.
I'm Andy Barron. I grew up in Uxbridge, now live in Milford. I spent 20 plus years at MyFM 101.3 in Milford. I've known Tom and Steve for many years. Good to see Morgan here as well. Currently, I'm a vocational paraprofessional at Tri-County in Franklin, where I also assistant coach cross-country and track. And there's nothing like the fall season. It's so much fun. You got football. You've got nice weather for the most part. And just really looking forward to a great season and hopefully finally dethroning this guy.
We'll see about that.
It was close, but someone's got to take him down. So maybe it'll be me.
Quite possibly. You did win one year, so I believe you did.
Yeah, I think a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But we'll be talking some fantasy football on this edition. We'll have our NFL picks on our second edition. That's going to air on September 3rd, just before the first NFL game of the season, which is the Eagles and Cowboys, Thursday Night Football. And there's a lot of other stuff to talk about. But first, let's start off with some high school news and notes. Morgan, Westwood, they had a tremendous year last year, some great fall teams. Can you tell us any tidbits of what to expect over at Westwood this fall?
Absolutely. So right off the bat, Westwood has a new athletic director. So Rich Cardverrier, he's coming from Needham High School. He was the assistant athletic director, and right off the bat, he's been doing a fantastic job. He's jumped right in July, and has picked up everything very, very quickly. And this is the most exciting time of year, in my opinion, where the summer, at some point you're almost like, all right, I'm a little lost. Sports is kind of been a couple months behind us. What am I supposed to do? I can only play so much golf. Now we're back to what we're used to doing. Mm-hmm. Now we're back to talking about how we enjoy beating Hopkinton. Some of our favorite things to do. But you know what? Westwood is going to come back with some very, very strong sports. Boys and girls soccer is going to be terrific this year, which is always a strength for Hopkinton. Football, a lot graduated last year, but I think you're going to be surprised about the talent Westwood brings this year from a football perspective. When I mentioned boys soccer, they got a new coach as well, but they have a lot of guys returning there. They're healthy, which they weren't in previous years. But this is probably one of the more exciting sports seasons in Westwood, just because you looked across country. And, Andy, our girls cross country, the reigning defending Division II state champions for cross country. And they got a lot of pressure on them this year.
Sure.
And I'm telling you, these girls know how to handle it pretty well. They work very, very hard, and they are dedicated. I walk the track late at night because, we're on the wrong side of 35, so we find ways to keep moving. And they're still there after hours practicing. So keep an eye on them, the boys as well. And I was at the golf. I was at golf earlier today. Westwood took on Norwood and Wayland, a little tri-match, and a good start there. So I am absolutely fired up. I cannot wait to do some more collaboration with you.
Absolutely.
I had a pretty good record last year, but you had a good finish. But now the slate is clean, 0-0 between Westwood and Hopkinton. So we'll see how it goes this year.
Yeah, I think it was you took the fall games and the winter ones, and
Yes.
I took a bunch in the spring.
Took some playoff ones
Kind
too.
of made up for it.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll certainly have some more collaborations. The rivalry announcers, Hopkinton
Yes.
and Westwood.
A lot of fun.
Steve, you do a lot of work with Milford, Nipmuc, as well as a number of other schools with MyFM. Any tidbits about the teams that you cover you'd like to mention? I understand some great athletes coming back for both Milford and Nipmuc.
Yeah, and both of the football teams looking to improve upon last season. Milford went 3-5, did make the playoffs and won a playoff game, but obviously you'd like to do better than 3-5. And they lost some players from last year. That's happened before, so you look to replenish. All of us around here know Milford does not back down from anyone. They play a tough schedule. There's no cupcakes on there. And they play in the HCAM, which of course is a very tough league to begin with, and they schedule very hard in the non-conference.
Yep.
Nipmuc, 2 years ago they had a winning record for the first time in a while. Last year, kind of a step backwards, looking to rebound there this year. Was there over Milford on Saturday morning? They had a scrimmage against the Mustangs at Medway High School. Overall, they look good, and going into a scrimmage, you don't really know what to expect.
Right.
You just want to see things run efficiently. And watching the JV team last year, maybe a little more balanced, and they were able to do that Saturday. Pretty balanced offense. Things ran smoothly. There's always some mistakes in scrimmages, but you'd rather those happen in a scrimmage than during the season. So, and as for Medway, they really couldn't get much going offensively. No real traction. Milford offensively really did what they wanted to, and you could hear the Medway defensive coaches towards the end really getting on their guys. Encouraging some more pushback and stuff. So it's just a scrimmage.
Yeah.
But I will say this with scrimmages in my years over at Milford, the stuff that goes wrong during scrimmages often goes wrong during the season, and the stuff that goes right during scrimmages often goes right during the season. So this is not like pro football preseason where it really is meaningless. Scrimmages for high school, it's meaningful. That's meaningful work.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time of year. That's just a controlled scrimmage. We'll have a game scrimmage later on this week. And some schools will have some next week. And, of course, the regular season starts next week for some teams, too. It's a great time of year. I can't wait.
Well, I believe it was Coach Belichick who once said that the season doesn't actually start till October.
Yeah, September's an extension of the preseason. I think some folks we'll talk about the pros in a little bit, but I think the Cincinnati Bengals took that a little too seriously the last few years.
Well, we'll see if they take it seriously this year.
Yeah.
They've had a pretty good training camp, it looks like. Andy, you're over at Tri-County. What's going on over there?
So cross-country season is underway. We just started up with practice, and as Morgan, I'll piggyback off what he said. Yeah, Westwood's always had a stellar cross-country program. They've had it for many, many years. We're in Division III, so we're a step down, but still very good competition. We will scrimmage against Franklin on Friday over at Dacey Field, a very nice area that we train over there. And the boys are looking for a three-peat this year in the state vocational championships. And the last time that boys cross-country three-peated was from 1980 to 1982.
Wow.
Which is a long time ago. It shows you how hard it is, no matter at what level, to do something like that. And so our boys team's looking really good. Our girls team also looking strong this year as well. Tri-County football also winning the state voc last year for the first time in school history, defeating a very good Blue Hills team that was kind of their thorn in their side for a few years, and that was a really impressive win. They're returning a good amount there. And also, I wanted to bring this up too, but Blackstone Valley Tech football, that's actually my alma mater. I know he's not a big fan of
Or
it, but
as we call it,
Rivalry right
the
here.
Battle of Pleasant Street.
the school across the street.
Yeah, the school across the street. But Anthony Landini is a tremendous coach. Jim Archibald was a tremendous coach there for many years. They're going for their 16th straight playoff appearance this year, which is, I don't care what level that is phenomenal. That is such a hard thing to do. And it'll be interesting to see if they can pull it off.
Absolutely, that's tremendous. So some great things happening around at the local schools. Of course, Hopkinton, they're getting things started up. They're in the midst of a number of the tryouts and scrimmages. And it was just recently announced that the two of the now graduated Hillers, Maddie Recupero and Nina Tizia, Hiller Girls Soccer, they got they were named Scholar All-Americans by the United Soccer Coaches, which is a very rare honor. So congratulations to Madison and Nina. They will certainly be missed this year. I'll say this about Hiller Girls Soccer. They got a lot of good skill coming back, but they're going to be younger this year. They lost a lot of seniors last year, but they have some incredible freshmen and sophomores working their way up through the ranks. So that will be some exciting stuff. And Hiller football is returning a good amount of their talent from last year as well. I think they're going to be very competitive, and they got a big match with Westwood.
Looking forward to it.
Towards the end of October.
Yep.
So that'll be a good one. I believe that's a Thursday night match.
Yes.
So that'll be a fun one.
Is it Halloween? Right around Halloween?
I think it's the day before Halloween. It was initially Halloween, and then I think they realized, oh, yeah, we can't do it on
I think we might get the costumes out. You know?
Right?
We'll have to do some kind of.
Oh, I'm sure the student section will, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Well, we got to participate as well, you know, or we'll make a side agreement on whoever wins. You know, we'll do.
Oh, yeah. We'll have a little behind the scenes bet going on there.
Absolutely.
It'll be a lot of fun. But on this show, for those of you that haven't tuned in before, we're going to talk a little high school sports from time to time, especially as the season gets going. It's going to be mostly pro today because, the season's just kind of getting in the swing of things. But as the fall season goes on, we'll certainly be talking more and more about the local high school sports teams and some great talent around the area for sure. But I do want to dig into some of the summer action. And of course, one of the biggest rivalries every summer is Red Sox-Yankees. And it's back. It's finally back after years and years of Red Sox struggles. The Red Sox and Yankees are both right in the heat of the wild card race. And of course, they had a series this past weekend, Sox taking 3 out of 4 from the Yankees. But the Sox only a half game up in the standings at 71-60, Yankees at 70-60, and Sox 5-5 in their last 10, Yankees 6-4. So kind of similar stuff there. But I want to ask you guys, what's your thought about the Red Sox this season? And we've been waiting quite a while for them to be in such a heated race this late in the season. So what do you expect this team to do, and what would be a disappointment for this team? Andy, we can start with you on this one.
It's plain and simple. You need to make the postseason. There's just no more excuses. I don't want to hear it. We're getting into close to September. You need to make the postseason because there's a lot of people that are still not buying into this team. Me, one of them. They've exceeded my expectations. I think they've exceeded everybody's expectations. But you got to take the next step. You got to make the postseason. And if you really go around the American League, like who's that team that really, there's no great team. Like Detroit's good, Toronto's good, Seattle's good, but there's no great team. I feel like all the great teams are in the National League. I think the National League is really head and shoulders above the American League, in my opinion. But you've positioned yourself in good place, and you have a very favorable schedule down the stretch. I mean, you're playing the Pirates, you're playing the Orioles. I think you're playing the Guardians, maybe. I mean, these are games you have to win. Like, you cannot go down to this series in Baltimore this week and drop 4 in a row. You just cannot do that, and to take people seriously. But
They've had a rough time with Baltimore.
They really have. It's the Yankees they've played great against, but they struggle with Baltimore. But it's make or break it time. You've got to make the postseason, because if they don't, it's going to be a huge disappointment. Really, I mean, like, if not now, then when? Like, when are you going to take that next step? I still just don't think they have enough to get over the top. I still think the trade deadline was something that they should have done more of, and they didn't. But right now they're still winning, so I can't really, say
Well,
that.
sort of. 5-5 in the last 10. That's not that impressive.
I think the other big thing too is, though, I will go back to what I was just saying real quickly. Seattle's a team that does worry me a little bit. If you have to go out to Seattle, they do not play well there. I don't know what it is, but now if Seattle's going to come here, I feel pretty confident. But that's the only team that gives me a little bit of pause.
Yeah.
It's tough going to the West Coast. The Red Sox historically have not played well there. So that's the only team I kind of give some thoughts of. Going into Toronto, too, they don't play well there either. And Detroit still is a young team. So, again, I think this American League is wide open.
Absolutely.
And Houston, too.
Seattle's right in the mix, 70-61. So, it's what, 3 wild card spots now.
Yep.
It could come down between Sox, Yankees, and the Mariners, as they're all right neck and neck, really. So.
And remember, you play best of 3 at home now. So if the Red Sox are the first wild card team, then I believe they go into the divisional round. I think that's how it works. So if you have that second or third wild card, now you're playing. But if you're at Fenway, you feel good about it because the Red Sox have been so good at home. But I don't want to go to Seattle. Like, that's just the team that just kind of gives me a little bit of pause.
Absolutely. Morgan, thoughts on Sox-Yankees?
I mean, I'm right there with Andy. I'm not bought in yet. You ever seen the movie Major League?
Oh, of course.
Watched it the other week.
Where you got the owners, and the owners are doing everything they can to not help the team, but they still win. That seems like the Red Sox right now, where the owners are doing nothing to help this team. I agree with the Devers trade, but they've done nothing to really bring in kind of the right players. Bregman was a good ad, but what about keeping Mookie Betts years back? I mean, this is a once-in-a-generational player, and that has changed my perspective on the Red Sox, since then. I got to give them credit, though. They're finding ways to win with young guys.
Yeah.
And these young guys are doing it on the big stage, and I feel like part of that, when you see these young guys doing it, they haven't had that scar tissue yet, to really think about all the demons of striking out with the bases loaded in a playoff game and stuff. So they're swinging very freely. Can they keep that up? Can they keep going up there and getting things done with an open and a free mind? And I think that's a really good thing to have. You got a guy like Bregman who's also teaching them hey, one game at a time, and all that. But I think what was most impressive for me is the Red Sox pitching what they did at Yankee Stadium. It wasn't perfect, but it was effective. I mean, this was a Yankees team that had 14 home runs in 2 games. I remember watching one of the games, it might have been the Wednesday or Tuesday game leading up to the series.
Yeah.
They had 7 or 8 home runs before the 4th inning was over. And I'm like, this is crazy. And you know what? It was the Red Sox were able to slow that down. So that was very, very impressive. You cannot count the Yankees out. They have so many big bats.
Yeah.
And, they have some good pitching. And I think ultimately if they just stick with a lineup in the batting order, each night it's totally different. Imagine trying to go out there and be comfortable and you don't know what position you're playing or where you are in the lineup.
Right.
It's a challenge. If you just say you're my guys and ride or die, that's where teams end up going on runs and winning. And I think eventually they'll get there. But I got to give the Sox credit. I'm kind of like the ground crew guys that when they're winning, they're still stink. But I'm moving in the right direction after this past weekend. 3 out of 4 in Yankee Stadium against the Yankees, where it matters, matters the most. It's not the most, but we're getting close.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at the Red Sox roster compared to the Yankees roster, I mean, they're just completely different, complete opposites. I mean, the Sox are all young guys for the most part, besides Bregman and Story, but not a whole lot of experience. The Yankees, they're loaded with experience, and I didn't think at this point during the season I'd be seeing that the Red Sox and Yankees are neck and neck in the standings. I didn't think that would be the case. Steve, what are your thoughts?
So going into this 4-game series, I would have settled on a split because they lost 3 in a row to Miami and Baltimore, who are not great teams. And you can't lose to teams like that. When you're playing teams that are down there in the standings, you got to take care of business. So I would have settled on a split. Then they won 3 out of 4, so I'm thrilled about that. In terms of the buy-in, I am buying into what Craig Breslow and his staff are doing. This team had 3 All-Stars this year. They're all brought in by Craig and his staff this offseason. I'm not bought into what Alex Cora and his staff are doing. This team has too many one-run losses still. Base running is poor. Decision-making is still questionable at times. Fielding has been a problem for years, honestly. And, honestly, I think if almost anyone else was managing this team, they'd be in first place by several games. And if you look at their expected wins and losses, they should be within a half game of the best record in the American League. And this is where all those one-run losses, especially early in the season, has come back to kind of bite them a little bit. They have played a lot better these last couple months. So you'll give them that. But they got to avoid going back into those dips. They need more of this.
You're right.
You can't be losing 3 in a row to lousy teams.
So if they make the playoffs, does that solve how you feel about
It's very simple. You make the playoffs, Alex Cora and his staff keep their jobs. If they don't, you clean house. I know some folks aren't happy with what they did at the trade deadline, but they're never going to overpay for pieces at the deadline. This roster, as constructed, is capable of making the playoffs. And to not make the playoffs, as Andy said earlier, there's no excuses. They're out of excuses. This is a playoff caliber roster.
Playoffs.
So, if they make the playoffs, I think that'd be great. And, we're not looking for a World Series contender here. I don't think we're at that point yet. This team hasn't been playing relevant baseball in September in 4 years. So, September starts next week. We will be relevant in September, which is great. It makes September a lot more fun with football starting up. Yeah, so you make the playoffs. I think that's a good first step for this young core. I think that'd be a really helpful experience.
Let me ask you guys this. Who do you think has more pressure to make the playoffs, the Yankees or the Red Sox?
Yankees.
And I'll start. I think it's the Yankees because of they spent tremendously more money on this team. And, when you look up and down the roster, they have so many heavy hitters in that lineup, and they spent a lot on pitching. So, yeah, there's pressure on the Sox, but I think there should be big pressure if you're a Yankees fan with all that juice you got in that lineup. There's really no excuse.
They went all in at the trade deadline, too. Yeah, I mean, the amount of transactions they made was, I don't know if anyone, had the same amount. But one question I have for Steve is, Steve, you are our eyes and ears at the Worcester level. And I was talking to a friend the other day. He said there was some Worcester pitcher throwing like mid-90s as a lefty and doing it well. And September is typically when you start to see those call-ups from Worcester.
Yeah, you might see some calls, especially if there are some injuries in Boston or they just need some depth, stuff like that. So Worcester and Portland to start the year had pretty good rosters, but now a lot of the guys who were in Portland are now in Worcester, and the guys like Rowan Anthony and guys like that who were in Worcester are now in Boston. So, it kind of hurts the minor league product a little bit, but, you're here to win at the major league level. And, it's good to see these young guys come up and contribute already. And, the Sox are building that young core. They're trying to copy what the Braves did, essentially. You identify that young talent, develop the young talent, and then you sign the young talent to team-friendly deals, and that's how you stay in contention for.
What happened to the Braves?
They just totally fell apart this year.
Yeah,
they really did.
That's one of the surprises of the year.
I have to agree. They're not even in contention.
No. They are way down there.
59-71.
I got to say this too, guys. I still think the Dodgers are the team to beat. I think when the lights are on,
of course,
that team is so talented and so loaded. Like, if anybody thinks they're still not the team to beat, I think they're crazy.
So many veterans that don't care.
But the Brewers have impressed me. Yeah. I think they have the best chance, and you can't count Philadelphia out, but I still think the Dodgers are the team to beat.
Well, Brewers' best record in the league at 81-50, but I think you're right. I mean, I'm always with the mentality that the champion is the team to beat. Going into the NFL season, the Eagles is the team to beat. Yeah. They're the champs.
It's just so tough to win out in Los Angeles. Those crowds are they're loud, they're noisy. I mean, the game one ending last year was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Oh yeah!
I mean, that was incredible what Freddie Freeman did. And it was against the Yankees too. It was even better. But I want to just comment on something Steve said just a little while ago. The one-loss games, I've never seen anything like this. This team is so inconsistent. Like 23 one-loss games. They have a 5-game lead right now. They are the Detroit Tigers right now. If you just win 10 of those games, you are running away with the American League right now. That's what's going to cost us.
And I think a large part of it was the bullpen. The bullpen would come in and just completely blow the game.
It's sloppy base running, sloppy fielding, a lot of
Never seen anything like it.
questionable managing. I feel like Corey's been tossed out several times this year. I feel almost all of them have been pointless.
Yeah.
You're arguing over nonsense pretty much. So, and the reason why I'm harsh on Alex Cora is because this team has talent, and I expect a lot. I expect there to be baseball at Fenway in October, and if there's not, that's going to be an epic failure, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Only a few games left. They're in a good spot right now. No excuses. Get to the postseason.
Exactly. Just make the postseason. That's it.
Tough schedule to the end. You got to go to Tampa, you got to go to Toronto, and you host Detroit.
Yeah.
So that is not going to be easy.
Nope.
And fellas,
not
if
at
we were
all.
in Tampa Bay, this would be a whole different, whole different expectations. Being in Boston, we do have high expectations for our teams and what they've done. But we saw a great winning streak during this year, so we know what they're capable of when they are getting it done.
By the way, who would have thought the Blue Jays would be on top of the East?
No one did.
I didn't see that one coming.
Again, another place where that place is just going to be rocking in the fall. I mean,
My goodness.
that place is crazy. Again, another place the
When
Red Sox
Batista hit that walk-off home run, you remember how crazy that place
incredible.
was?
And they don't play well there. The Sox have
That
not
bat
played
still
well
hasn't
in
landed.
that.
Nope.
Yeah, the only thing that memories I have of Red Sox, when Manny Ramirez hit to like the fifth deck.
Oh, yeah.
That little memorial.
Great
up
place
there.
to watch a game up there in Toronto.
Or Woody would run off the field when there's like one out.
Yeah. High-fiving the guy after giving the ball
Oh,
to the fan.
man. That's just great.
Didn't he give a ball to a fan and it ended up costing him a run?
Less than 2 outs. Yeah. And then he just goes,
Epic Manny being Manny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We needed another Manny. That was always a good time watching Manny.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, another topic we want to get to on this show is fantasy football picks. It's that time of year. Everybody's doing their draft. We just did ours. So we're going to talk some fantasy football, and I guess we're going to, just name a few guys who you think could be a surprise, and any tips you got for the great viewers of this show on who you think might be someone to look out for. Maybe it's not someone that's necessarily on the radar, but perhaps he could be a pleasant surprise. And I guess I'll start with a couple of mine. And one guy that I was really watching in preseason who I think has potential is Jackson Dart, the Giants quarterback. He's a backup right now, but obviously the Giants rotation, he's not going to be starting week one because you got Russell Wilson, you got Jameis Winston. But I think Dart could blow especially Wilson out of the water. I think Winston is probably even more of a challenge. I don't think Russell Wilson's going to have that starting job long. I just don't think he has the arm anymore. So I think Dart is a guy to look out for. And then another guy who I actually drafted who I like, Caleb Johnson, the Pittsburgh running back. Pittsburgh is a heavy run team. They brought in Aaron Rodgers this year, so maybe they'll pass a little bit more than last year. In fact, I can almost guarantee they will. But usually when you get a Pittsburgh running back, they're going to put up a good amount of points. So Caleb Johnson, another guy I'm looking at. Steve, you want to name a couple guys that are on your radar that might not be on your radar?
So actually, I picked out a couple of Patriots on here. Shocker.
Oh, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, first being Trayvon Henderson. So in our draft,
good one.
we did have someone who drafted him in the first round, and a few of us were talking before the draft. Someone's going to overpay for him. I guarantee you. Yeah, sure enough, first round. I did another draft last night, and he was drafted in round 4 by me. So that could be one to watch out for. Just watching him through training camp preseason, you could just see him being a good fit in Josh McDaniels' offense. So that's one. And Stephon Diggs, the Patriots. He's going to be the top target. And, coming off a knee injury last year, he only played about 5 weeks. So looking for a rebound year from him. Let's slide over to quarterback.
He might take a bit to get 100%, though.
Yeah, it'll probably take time.
But
Yeah,
Potential's there.
absolutely. Yeah. If you're looking for a good quarterback and not if you can't get the Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Jackson, Baker Mayfield is one to watch out for. The Bucs have a great offense. They got a lot of weapons, and they put up points.
I believe I have him.
You have in our league. I drafted him in another draft last night.
Slings it.
Yeah, so Tampa's going to put points up.
And you know what I could believe? I think it was like round 9 or 10. And Jared Goff's just still there.
Yeah.
And it shocked me so much I had to take him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he was still there, but yeah, I think I'm going to start Baker.
Yeah, that's probably a smart play.
I think so.
Yeah, that's a smart play. So another receiver I have in here is Cooper Kupp. I feel like people kind of forgot about him now that he's with the Seahawks. He left the Rams. Yeah. The guy was still good last year at the Rams. I think he'll still be good with the Seahawks. Not drafted all that high, but someone who, if you need a receiver, that's someone.
Did he get hurt again last year?
He may have been out for a couple of games.
I think he was.
That's one guy I wanted to see the Patriots get. He's
Same. Yeah.
Like McDaniels too. Like
Oh, my God.
he'll throw him in the slot and
he'd be
so many plays.
Yeah.
he'd be so good here.
Yeah, of course, he wasn't hurt in November when they played in Foxborough. He
No.
absolutely torched
Eat
us
off.
that day.
Oh God.
That was
Yeah.
No answer for Cooper Kupp.
Cup always has potential, that's for sure.
And then to round up my list, Brock Bowers, tight end of the Raiders. It could be one of those next really good tight ends because there's not many great ones out there.
No, I mean it used to be a pretty big tight end league.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're looking at Gronk and Kelsey and
Antonio Gates.
Well, speaking of tight ends, one guy who I think is surprisingly underrated in a lot of drafts, I actually picked him up pretty late in our draft, Tucker Kraft, the Green Bay tight end.
Yeah.
He was tremendous
he's a good
last
player.
year.
he is crafty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got to go with the crafty guy. Morgan, who's on your list?
I'm going to keep it short and simple, but I'm the kind of guy. It starts off, where are you picking, right? You know, if you're the first overall pick, I almost would rather have the last pick. I like kind of getting that double up at the end on the snake draft. But if you're somewhere in the middle, I think you got to start with some of the guys over on Baltimore. And you got two guys at the top. Obviously, Derrick Henry, resurgence. Him coming back, and these guys going to new teams, they have a chip on their shoulder, and they.
And that was such a good addition for the Ravens. I always said the only thing they're missing is a true running back.
Yeah.
And man, did they get one.
And why I think you got to consider Lamar Jackson in that mix, and then even Zay Flowers, is teams are going to just put
Zay Flowers.
They're going to put you're going to put 10, 11 guys in that box, and they're going to try and stop that run, and the play action is going to be open. And Zay Flowers is probably going to have uncontested touchdown catches. He's going to have a foot, 2 foot on some of these cornerbacks because they're thinking they got to come up and play the run. Right. So I always like to think you got to kind of surround some teammates together. When I've won fantasy football, it's because I had a quarterback and I had either the tight end or I had a wide receiver that they were throwing to and going all in. It's like playing roulette. I'm going all in on black, and there's going to be games where there's a bad one, but when you pick like a Mahomes and a Kelsey 5 years ago, and they're doing it fairly consistently every night, and then they're going to do it in the playoffs. That is what matters the most.
So you're saying you need that quarterback wide receiver combo.
Yes. And don't underestimate, too, I'm going to be a little bit of a homer, Drake May. So, there is no one better when it comes to young quarterbacks than Josh McDaniel. So, our quarterback before him, what was his name? Now in Jacksonville. He might have
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, sorry. It's been a bit, fellas. But Mac Jones, his best year?
And I'm only laughing because I bashed Mac Jones.
Tom's favorite player.
Yeah. Well, his best year.
He's on the 49ers now.
His best year is when Josh McDaniels was at the helm as the offensive coordinator. And I will never forget that Patriots-Buccaneers game, Monday night, welcome back, Tom. It was back and forth.
That was a really
And we were we were very bullish on the kid. And we're like, this kid just showed up in a big game under the lights, national TV. And
it is true, and Steve always mentions this. Mac Jones did have his best years and his best games under McDaniels.
Yes. Yep. And McDaniels has patience. He has understanding of how to communicate to some of these young guys. And he also knows, Drake brings a little bit something different than Mac, too. He can actually, move around on his feet and to get a first down that way. If he sees space in front of him, he's going to have him, take it. Yeah. Not be stupid and, try and do what Josh Allen's doing and, take a couple hits from middle linebackers.
Yeah.
Right.
But, make them respect your feet where they have to, keep a couple guys out there as a spy, where you have maybe a little bit of the middle of the field open for crossers and, things like that. But keep an eye on Drake May. I think he's going to have the best year yet under McDaniels. And he's going to, obviously get these wide receivers involved, too, with some of these screen passes, some of these, out.
Well, the one thing I like about May, and he's so much better at this than Mac Jones, is getting rid of the ball.
Yes.
He gets rid of that ball
Doesn't
so
take too many
quick.
sacks. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's a big boy too. So like
Oh,
he
yeah.
can take a little.
And he
bit.
could run.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, we've
forget
seen
about that. It was shocking last year seeing a Patriots quarterback that could actually run.
Hey, don't forget Tom Brady when he juked out Urlacher.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Brady had some of the most epic runs in history, but they were also some of the slowest.
It was like just running in quicksand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun watching May, especially now that he has some weapons.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Steve, that Travion Henderson, I think he's going to steal that starting job right away for the Pats.
Fully agree.
He's going to be their number one running back. Andy, who's on your list?
Well, on my list, I'm going to keep it short and sweet too, but I always start with the quarterback. And the one guy, there's two guys that come to my mind. It's Jaden Daniels and it's Joe Burrow. I just don't think you can go wrong. I think Joe Burrow potentially could have an MVP season if he can stay healthy. He is the Cincinnati Bengals. The offense runs through him. Jaden Daniels nearly took his team to the Super Bowl last year. Terry McLaurin also inking a 3-year, $96 million deal today with the Commanders. And is just a dynamite receiver. That's a deadly combo there. But one player I am going to throw out here that I really was impressed with, and I'm going to stay with the Patriots this preseason, and that's Matt Collins. I really thought he looked good. I thought him and Drake May had some very good chemistry going this year. He's good, and he gets open.
I mean, did you see what he did last year in Buffalo? He was tremendous.
Tremendous.
He ended up being their big end zone threat.
And
really.
him and Stephon Diggs together, they've played together before too. So, I mean, guys, we might have a decent 1-2 punch receiver here.
Yeah, I think Matt Collins was a sneaky good addition by the Pats. He could really be a key piece of this offense.
Yeah, and another, I must throw out another Patriots player too. You can't go wrong with Hunter Henry. Just consistent. And he's not like a Rob Gronkowski or a Travis Kelce, but he's consistent. He gets open. He's tough. He's physical. Goal line. He's money. Glad he's still on this roster.
Absolutely.
Blocks. Yeah.
Just a solid tight end. Can't go wrong. And Austin Hooper's been good too.
Yes.
Very underrated.
Yes.
Very underrated. Him and Hunter Henry, that's a good combo.
That is a good combo. And, that was the position I was probably most confident about before we went into the offseason. It's like, okay, they have their tight ends. But who are they going to have at running back and receiver? Now, obviously, we have some of those answers, and it was a good result. And they finally spent some money on those positions, which they desperately needed to do. And, of course, they bolstered up that O-line, which is really going to help as well. So I have a hard time imagining that the Patriots don't take a huge step up this year, for sure.
And you mentioned, tight ends. Another thing, Josh McDaniels excels when he has two tight ends.
Oh, yeah,
When he has to force linebackers to go man up on these tight ends who are very difficult to cover anyways, he knows how to exploit defenses.
Yeah, and you got to think, guys, now, too. The Patriots have guys that coordinators have to prepare for now.
Yes.
We're not just throwing a team out there. There are guys, you have to prepare for Stephon Diggs. You have to prepare for Matt Collins and Travion Henderson. You have to prepare for these guys. And even Drake May.
Right.
These are the future of the Patriots organization.
Well, you can't forget about Michael Penix Jr.
Oh, jeez. What are the Falcons doing? Like, seriously, that's a total Falcons thing.
I'll say one thing about Atlanta. Darrell Mooney's been good over there. He has a chance to be a sneaky good fantasy football pick. But they did play good football towards the end of the year, but it was already too late for them to do anything.
I'm not picking the Falcons anymore. Every time I pick the Falcons, they lose. They lose.
They might be slightly better this year, but
Can't pick them.
they're Atlanta, so they'll end up blowing it.
But seriously, they have it's Kirk Cousins, and Michael
they brought in
Penix. Like, I'm
Cousins.
like, I don't understand it. Like, how do you? It's the Falcons.
Oh, and Wentz just went somewhere.
Yeah, he got traded to the Vikings
No pun intended.
from the Chiefs. Yeah,
Yeah.
With the Vikings, another team. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Vikings have like 6 quarterbacks now.
Yeah, because they had Darnold last year,
Right.
who was terrible before that. That's great. Now gets a nice payday with the Seahawks.
I'd imagine they're planning on starting J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully he stays healthy.
One more fantasy pick I want to throw out too. Bo Nix.
Yes.
That guy can play.
He was great last
And the
year.
Broncos have really. I was all over Sean Payton, but that team's going in the right direction.
They had him go right out of the gate last year.
Yeah.
And he was ready.
Yeah.
If I went to Vegas and they said, good season, bad season. I would have probably put my house on bad season. And what he did last year was very
Took
impressive.
them to the playoffs, and Buffalo was just a better team, but
Yeah.
that's encouraging.
So that's why you don't have your house anymore.
Yeah, that's why my P.O. box is to be determined. Yes.
All right.
This is good.
Well, there it is. Some fantasy football thoughts. It's that time of year. It's football season. Fantasy football time. Bragging rights time. And don't worry, I won't make fun of you this show.
Wow, a reprieve for once.
Surprised it took you so long.
I might. We'll see. We'll see what happens on the next show. All right. But believe it or not, it's time for final thoughts for our first HCAM Sports Talk Studio episode. By the way, we'll be doing more of these in the studio. I'm liking it.
Yes,
Like it.
love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we got a great crew working with us as well. Big thank you to our awesome crew, Mike and Denise.
Legends.
Absolute legends.
Thank you, Mike and Denise.
All right. So, Andy, final thoughts. What do you got?
I've said this before on the show plenty of times, but I got to say it again. Streaming sports is really starting to irritate me. I don't want to watch a game on Apple TV. I want to watch it on regular cable. Now, I know that's the future and whatnot, but I'm just getting really tired of it. They're alienating fans. People are getting tired of it. I know Mr. Watson will agree with me. The only thing I can't see going over to complete streaming is the NFL because the TV money is so big in it. Mm-hmm. But some of these other sports, like the NBA, the NHL, you're seeing it even in MLB. It's not looking good. It's heading towards that way. I mean, you're seeing Prime, Apple TV, even YouTube now. People don't want to do that. They want to watch it on regular TV. Now, Fox has jumped in and has done that a lot, but this is the direction it's going in. And I'm getting very concerned that pretty soon, I remember somebody told my father once this in the 70s, you're going to have to pay to watch TV someday, and he laughed. And he said, well, who's got the last laugh
I
now?
think football will be the least affected
Because they make so much money on the TV.
people want to watch
Sponsorship.
it, no matter where.
But it's so true. When he said that and he laughed, and it's like, well, they got the last laugh now because
But a sport like baseball that's hurting for viewership, if they keep going
that's what they're
the
going for.
streaming way, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go.
It's
But
just-
yeah, it is frustrating because now you need cable, you need 7 different apps, and
Passwords and all that.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
but hey, the best thing is UFC is going to be no more pay-per-views.
That was a great deal.
That is
Fantastic.
And I don't watch the UFC, but Dana White, the guy, knows what he's doing.
It does.
absolutely, and you're going to have UFC like the big events on CBS. I mean, it's going to be
It's
awesome.
going to be like the old days when you used to watch boxing in the 80s during the Tyson era.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of, Dana White knows what he's doing.
I mean, their viewership and popularity just continue to go up, but now with this, it's going to skyrocket. Everybody's going to be watching UFC, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about that on this show too. Of
course.
Morgan, any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts. I'm gonna be a little homer on this one, but I'm very bullish on the Patriots. When you get Mike Vrabel back, I mean, we knew what Mike Vrabel brought to the table when it came to as a player, and then going up against him, I mean, he wasn't his game. Tom Brady's last game in a Patriots uniform coming into Foxborough.
I was at that game.
Playoff win. I mean, I think Logan Ryan had a pick six.
He did. You
towards
could
the
hear
end.
a pin drop in that place.
But the guy just knows how to get his team ready to play. And I'm not as concerned about do we have the pieces yet. Like, I think we're on our way. We're making headwinds to eventually where it's going to be like, wow, this is where it started, this is where it is. But the guy knows how to win with, teams that are somewhat mediocre. Some of the quarterbacks he won with in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
And getting it done. And he had stringent
Tannehill?
defense. The defense is, Tannehill, Fitzpatrick.
Who's the-
Fitzpatrick would throw 5 interceptions a game and still find a way to win.
Who's the other guy? He was the quarterback last year, but he didn't do very good, but he did pretty good under Vrabel.
Will Levis.
Yeah, that's-
was there before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the guy knows how. He's very good at play calling defenses, and he doesn't just he switches it up. He'll blitz. I love Belichick would do it often, but I like the guys that third and 5. We're bringing the house. If you're gonna beat us, you got to throw a perfect ball on a perfect timing, and everyone's gonna be on the same page while our fans are very, very loud. Going all in on that. And he's got that kind of gambling mentality, and I think that's exactly what our defense needs. And I think he's a guy that these guys want to play for, and they're going to be fired up. So I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely. Steve, final thoughts?
Much like Morgan, very excited for the upcoming Patriot season. Sometimes, something happens and you'll never forget where you were. I remember when they announced the hiring of Mike Vrabel, I was tailgating before the Bills-Broncos playoff game, and I was in line for the men's room there, and my phone starts blowing up. They hired Vrabel. Like, where were you a year ago? That's what I wanted when Coach Belichick and the Patriots parted ways. So it took them a year, but they finally got it right. I think the floor is 8 wins. I think the ceiling's 13. I think they could overachieve. I'll shoot for the middle. I'll say 10.
Yeah.
They go 10-7, wild card spot. The vibes are absolutely immaculate. If they can just not shoot themselves in the foot and play relatively clean football, there's no reason why they can't be playing into January. No reason at all. Very excited about that. Excited for high school sports this fall. All of us will be back in action next week with our respective teams. So, yeah, it's a great time of year. The Sox are going to be in the race. And, hopefully we can get back to having all 4 Boston sports teams being relevant all at the same time. I think that'd be a great thing.
That's right. All right. Well, my final thoughts, a lot of fun being in the studio with you guys. We'll certainly do it again. And also Hiller Sports, fall sports starting up. And as per the usual on HCAM, we're going to have the majority, if not all, of the Hiller home games live for you. Boys soccer, girls volleyball, football. It's all coming your way. And we're also adding a few different things this fall as well. We are going to have a few live middle school sports games that is going to be added to the slate, as well as some Babe Ruth fall baseball added to the slate as well. So you're going to get more sports coverage on HCAM than you've ever seen in your life, and it's going to be tremendous. And hopefully we'll be working together for those Westwood-Hopkinton matchups. And if you like Westwood as well, of course, check out Westwood Media Center. They do a tremendous job with coverage. And they have a great announcer as well. So be sure to check out Westwood Wolverines coverage over at Westwood Media Center. But that's going to do it for our first studio edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Guys, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll certainly do it again. And in fact, the week after this, we have another in-studio show. So thank you for tuning in. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned into HCAM Sports Talk, and right now we got Hiller football practice going on, and that's where I'm at to catch up with this year's Hiller football team. So here's a look at this year's Hiller football team and also a look at this year's Hiller girls volleyball team. Hopkinton Hillers football finished last season with a record of 2-9. The Hillers faced many injury obstacles last year on top of a tough schedule, but this year return a whole lot of experience and are looking to rack up some wins and be amongst the top of the TVL. We caught up with this year's captains and head coach Mark Sanborn about this year's team.
My name is Ryan Morin. I'm a running back and defensive end.
My name is Will Boucher. I play center and linebacker.
Early days of practice. Looks like they're working you guys hard out there. How's everything going so far, and how's the team looking?
I mean, I say it's going great. We got a great group of kids, and every day we just come in and work as hard as possible. We bring it every single day.
Yeah, we got positive attitudes, and we're just working hard and getting after it.
All right, and what are some of these drills that you're working on in these early practices?
Right now we're focusing on the basics for the offensive line, just our basic blocking schemes, and more on the skill-wise. We're working on our hurry-up. I think we're going to rely heavy on that this year. Just basic play calls and all that stuff.
Covered all of it, but a lot of hitting drills on defense, and then defensive line and linebackers working together to read the guards and all that, and just know what we're doing and just get into it.
Terrific. And how's the new kids looking?
Oh, they got some dogs in them. A great class, a lot of hard workers, and I'm excited to see how they're going to contribute to the varsity team, JV, and just throughout the season.
I agree with that. They got a lot of stars that can run the ball, and they hit pretty hard.
Excellent. And any team goals or personal goals for this season?
Personal goals, I'm heading for a TVL All-Star for anything. And team goals, I think we're going for the TVL title, obviously. Going for the playoffs, that's everyone's goal, and going for that championship, of course.
Yeah, TVL championship and win.
Head coach Mark Sanborn enters his 5th season at the helm for the Hillers.
Everything's going well. We have a really good group of players this year. A big senior class, which is good. A lot of them have experience coming back as from juniors last year, but we're really trying to nail home discipline and work ethic, and hopefully that type of stuff pays off in the fourth quarter. And as the season gets longer and longer, we'll have our conditioning under us and our wind under us so we can outlast our opponents.
Absolutely, and you got a couple good experienced captains at the helm. Can you talk about your captains this season?
Yeah, Ryan and Will have been awesome right through the off-season leading up to the season. They've definitely built a culture here of lifting and buying in and commitment and discipline, all the stuff that comes with being successful on the football field. It starts with them and our entire senior class kind of leading the way for the underclassmen. We have really good numbers. The kids are really committed. And we just, like I said, we have a really coachable group of kids, and that starts with our seniors kind of setting the tone of how things should be run.
Absolutely, and you guys moved up a division, a little bit of a tougher schedule this season, some new opponents on there, such as St. John's and a couple others. Can you talk about your schedule this year and what's it like to move up a division?
Yeah, I mean, moving up a division will definitely be more of a challenge. We're facing bigger and bigger schools. Our schedule's somewhat similar to last year. We're going to Chicopee next week for our first game, so it'll be a longer ride. They'll be a big physical team. But like as you mentioned, St. John's, really good program, really talented. But we hung in there with them last year, and we feel like our experience playing them last year in our senior class will help us in those games. And then, as you know, the TVL is a really good league, top to bottom, finishing off with Ashton on Thanksgiving. So we definitely have our hands full this season. It's going to be a challenge week in and week out. But I really think that we have the group that's going to show up every week and be eager and hungry to work, no matter who the opponent is.
Absolutely. And what are some of the things that you're working on the most here in these early practices?
Yeah, as I mentioned, definitely building the conditioning, discipline, snap counts, making sure we know the plays, having a variety on offense that the kids understand. So we're not putting too much on them, but we're able to keep defenses on their toes. We're not an overly big team physically, but we have really good speed and we have really smart kids who understand the game, so we're going to use that to our advantage this year. So we're just trying to figure out where each player helps us the most and helps the team the most, and every single day practices get better and better.
Hopkinton opens their regular season on Friday, September 5th at Chicopee Cup. Hopkinton Hillers girls volleyball enters the season with a younger team after losing several seniors to graduation. Last year, the Hillers finished their season with 18 wins and 5 losses and advanced all the way to the round of 8 in the Division II state tournament before falling to TVL rival Westwood in the postseason. The Hillers may be young, but return some good talent and are looking forward to what should be a very competitive season. We caught up with this year's captains and coaching staff.
I'm Sophia Whiteman-Krause, and I'm a middle blocker.
I'm Gabby Patty, and I'm a setter. It's been going great so far. We have 7 new players on the team, so it's really great to see the very competitive level at practice. The girls really want to work hard, and it's a really competitive and fun environment.
I agree with Gabby. We had a little trouble with confidence in our first scrimmage, but I think that's mostly nerves, so we'll shake that off by games.
And how's the adjustment been? You lost some good seniors last year, but a lot of new faces this year. How's the adjustment been with the new girls?
It's been good, actually. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. There wasn't really a big adjustment period. We're all just getting to know each other, and it's going well.
Yeah, I definitely think we have a great group of returners. We're all really leading the girls and just stepping up if they have any questions, helping them out, because it is definitely a big adjustment to go from JV1, JV2 to varsity. But I don't think we lack any talent compared to last year. I think we're going to do great this year.
All right, and do you have any personal or team goals this season?
Definitely TVL champs. I definitely want to beat Westboro, especially with the jump up in division. I think it will be a really great game.
I agree. We did team goals at the beginning of the season. We did state champs as one of them, which is definitely a big goal, but it would be nice our senior year.
All right, and I'm sure Westwood must be in the back of your mind as well, right?
Yes.
What are some of the drills that you're working on in these early practices?
So I feel like the biggest thing when we're working with a new group, it's definitely defense, communication, getting used to each other. I think we were talking about it this morning after the scrimmage. We definitely need to work on our trust. So our drills are mainly defensive and heavy on communication.
Yeah, we also did some coverage drills just to like get used to each other and understand where we're supposed to be on the court and like what we're supposed to be doing.
Head coach Emily Sweetapple enters her 4th season at the helm, and former Hiller athlete, now coach, Michaela Pucci, will once again be assisting. There's some great talent on the team. Last year, a lot of new faces on this year's team. How's everything going so far, and how's the team looking?
Team's looking great. Obviously, like you said, we had a lot of turnover, so lots of new faces, and we're just kind of figuring things out now and working on communication and defense especially. But it's a really fun group of girls, and we're really excited to work with them this season.
Yeah, there's been great energy in the gym and already building some really good team culture, so we're really excited about that, and it's going to be a good season ahead.
All right, and any team goals this year? Things that you'd like to see this team achieve?
Yeah, the girls have some really big goals for this season. We're really taking it one day at a time. We had our first scrimmage yesterday, and just trying to get better every day.
Yeah, we always encourage them to set some really big, challenging goals, and obviously want to try to go for the TVL again, like last year. So we're going to start small and, like Coach said, just take it day by day and see where it takes us.
All right, and can you talk about your captains this year?
Yes. So we've got Gabby Patty and Soph Whiteman-Kraus, and they both have been with us this is their 3rd season on varsity. They've been with us since their sophomore year, so they're very ready. They're strong leaders, and I think that they'll do great things with this team.
All right, anything you want to add?
Go Hillers!
All right, and how'd everything go in that first scrimmage yesterday?
Lots to clean up, but like I said, it was really good energy, and that's the uncontrollable that you can't teach. So that was really good to see. But we'll be working on those things before our next scrimmage on Thursday against Westboro.
Yeah, it's just kind of cleaning up those errors and working on communication and just getting those younger players more exposure on the varsity net.
All right, what are some of the things you're working on in these early practices?
Defense. Oh yeah, really working on defense. So that's kind of what we need to tighten up right now.
Hopkinton girls volleyball opens regular season play on Wednesday, September 3rd at Dedham.